Yeah, welcome back. So in this video, we'll be looking at validation. So validation is very important in Excel, so that you'll be able to get clean and error-free data. So to exemplify that, in this particular case, we need to make people fill out like maybe an Excel sheet, maybe for a complaint or for to actually get a sense of the project that they are doing, and they're in different states. So what we can do now is just to write like validation for each of the rows, so that they will be exactly how we want the data to be. So take for example this name now. If you want it to be certain length of character, we need to do some data validation on it. So to start with, all you need to do is to come to your data, because that's where the data validation function is in Excel. Your data, then come to this place. You see data validation, click on it. You can see now that it gives you a dialog box for you to like click on or make any type of validation that you want. It's automatically set to any value, so that means it allows anybody to just type anything. So you can type letter and numbers together, for example. So but in our case now, name, we want it to just be text and with a particular length. Like we don't want it to be more than particular length. So what you can do is to say okay, not greater than, like everything, all the letter that will be there should not be greater than, let's say 30 maximum. Yeah, so that's one validation that we can do. So if you write like a name now, anything that is more than 30, so let's say I don't think it worked. Oh, okay. So I said greater than 30. No, it should be not greater than or equal to. So let's do anything less than 30. So that's what we want there. So let's write. Yeah, you can see it gives us a default error. If the value is more than 30, to give us like an error. So what we can do now to make sure that the user or the person filling out the form actually understand what we need. So our input message will be name. Let's just put name. No more than 30 names. That's basically what we want to do there. So we are saying 30 letters. So it should not be more than 30 letters. So the error alert the person will get is more. So let's say no more than 30 letters. Then this our input will be write your name. Just take for example like that. So basically, yeah, you can see now, because we added the input message and the error message, we actually get this one, say write your name. So the person can actually go ahead and write his or her name. Take for example David White West, something like that. So this next one, our wallet ID, maybe the person has a unique ID in the system and you want to get the actual wallet ID. We have information maybe from the backend engineer, or maybe from the stakeholders. We have the knowledge that wallet ID should not be more than 15. So what we can do here is to come to this data validation again and just pick. So this data validation, we have to come to it, pick it again. So our settings will now be okay. Now we want wallet ID. So wallet ID can be text. It's going to be text, but it's not going to be more than, so less than, just like what we did the other time, less than 15. So any character in there that is more than 15, it will flag it and give an error. So another one is if we want region now, we want to populate region and we don't want it to go outside what we have. Take for example, we have static regions. Of course, regions can be changed or they are not so dynamic that you probably change them every minute. So they are always somehow static. So regions, states, populations are not something that change very fast like that. So what we can do here is if we want them to be restricted to a particular region, like the ones we have here now. So we can just do some data validation. So we click on the region column, we go to still data validation. In any value, we pick lists because we want them to select from the list of what we have. Then our source will be the region, a reference to that region. It can be in another sheet too, it does not matter. So click on it. You can see now we have a list of the regions. You can also do it for states if you want them to be restricted to just the state we have in the system. So that they won't go and bring like any other state from any other place and it makes the whole data invalid or introduces error into the data. So all we can just do is to do the same thing to come to this column, click on it, and we can say okay lists. So non-decimal, a list now. Then the source we choose from this source. We reference it here. We click on enter. Then we can just put like maybe a message for them here saying choose please choose from these options. These options, yeah. So you can see now please choose. So when they click on it, they can choose on any state. So now this population now is a little bit tricky because not everybody will know their state population. So another way to validate it here is to make sure that when they enter the state, the population here comes out or is filled automatically instead of them writing it because there might be a mistake. So how to go about that is to use maybe VLOOKUP or XLOOKUP. We are going to be using XLOOKUP here because is the more recent one and is a little bit easier and flexible. So in our XLOOKUP now, we can start with if statements. Right? We have talked about XLOOKUP and we have talked about if statement now. So this is a place to actually make sure put them together to make sure they work. So what we can do here is to write our if function. So this is how we can populate these population columns automatically. So our if statement is looking for a logical test. So our logical test will be anything here that is if it's equal to anything here equal to nothing, then it should return nothing. So if anything that is here is equal to like if there's nothing there, return nothing. That's for the true. But for the false, if there's something there, according to that our false logical test, then return XLOOKUP. You can just do XLOOKUP here. You can see now, like it's like using if and XLOOKUP in the same function. So we can click on um, our lookup value, then choose our lookup array. So it's basically going to be looking at the state here. This is our lookup array. So from this state now, it's going to return array of this population that we want. Yeah. So when it returns the population that we want, then we can close the XLOOKUP and close the VLOOKUP together. Then we click on enter. So you can see if I now come here now and if I click on Ogun Ishi, it automatically populates Ogun population, which is very handy because you don't want people to be typing population that maybe they don't even know it offhand or they're just guessing. So this product description too can just be a simple data validation of you want them to be at least 20 characters. Some people might not want to give like because they are maybe lazy or they're in a hurry. They don't just want to give you project description. You just want to write a one word which will not be enough for exactly what you want to do. So what you can do here is to put a text length of, it has to be at least, at least it has to be greater than 30, or let's say greater than 20. No matter what, it has to be greater than 20. Description more than 20. Yeah, let's just put it like that. That is more than 20 character. So that's the whole validation. So when someone comes and he just clicks on this one, he will be able to fill out the wallet ID that fits that exact scenario. So what make sure that any cell that, or any row that the user or the person trying to fill out the Excel sheet is filling is validated. So what we can do is to highlight all our validated cells. The first one that we did, Control C. So when you copy it, you can just drag from where you want it to be. From here now, we drag it down to probably here. It might be more than this, depending on how many rows you want the person to fill. Then you can just say right click on it, this special, then our validation. Then we just click on validation. You can see now that it is already validated. If you check here now, you see that, you can see now that it's validated. You can see it's validation here. It's validation.